I think we got it.
Okay.
We are live.
Yay.
All right, we did it. We did it. Now let me start sharing. Hello. If you all can see me, please share. Please share. All right, I'm going to do a couple of shares. I see some folks jumping on. Hello, hello. We're about to have a really good conversation, y'all. Come on in. Real sister sharing up in here for the next 30 minutes. Let's do this. All right, so please share. And if you are from Real Women, please make sure that you share with our Real Women crew. I'm about to share as much as I can before we get started. Come on in. Don't forget to like us and love us. Make sure we know you're here. Say hello to us. All right, I think I've shared enough. Come on in. Hello, I see you, V and Bessie. Hello, Mr. Earl, Jennifer. Hello there. It's so good to have you all with us. So listen, I am here. I'm so excited. I'm here with my sister. And I sincerely God has allowed me over time to acquire a ton of sisters. But I have some sisters from way back that know some business of mine. So we got one of those sisters up here tonight. And I am just so grateful to have Sanithia Newby with us today. I'm first just going to ask you to share a little bit about yourself. You all just please share as you're hearing. We're going to ask you all some questions. Tonight is about two sisters talking life, just real life, and about purpose, because we've been able to see each other move and navigate through life. And then start navigating and walking in purpose. And so this is going to be fun. And so this is our Real Women chat that we have every Tuesday. And we are welcoming you to come and visit us anytime. If you are in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, come see us. We would love to have you visit realwomenrock.org in order to find more information out. Let's get started. Hey, Swan.
Hey, Nikki, can I call you?
Yes. Look, I didn't ask if I could call you Swan.
Shoot. I notice everybody calls you like Trinace, and I'm like, Nikki?
You know what it is? It's so funny. Nobody in my family or college and before would know who Trinace is, literally. Somewhere in college, someone started pronouncing my name correctly. And then that's when I started using it. I was like, okay, because every time I was Terrence or something else. So,
I know.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'm sure you have been everything under the sun.
Yeah. I have been synthesis. I've been synthetic. I've been.
That's hilarious. Well, you have always been my swan. I have always thought, and you know where I'm coming from with this. I thought you had just the finest, most beautiful brown sister that I have known. And so to me, you've always been my swan. So anyway, go ahead, girl.
Yes, no, you've always been my big sister, and it's only a year that separates us, but it always felt like so much more. Like we started living together with freshman year in college. Well, my freshman year, your sophomore year.
Yep.
And so we were roommates throughout college.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, you're like,
no, hold up, slow down. So we were roommates in college. And we were probably the better of the bunch, but we still had our college time. So it was fun. Yes, we did.
My God. Yes.
Yeah, don't go back. Don't go back. Okay, so first of all, formally tell them who you are, a little bit about yourself, anything you want to share in general.
Okay, so like Nikki said, I'm Sanithia in Newbie, and we are both from the 757 here in Virginia. I'm
Yeah,
still in the 757.
okay, so
Uh-oh.
ignore that, child. Go ahead. It's gone.
Okay. And so this is home for me. Went to school in North Carolina. I started out to be an attorney. So I went to law school out in Houston, Texas. I dropped out of law school. I got to law school, and after all of my life purposing to be an attorney and to open my own law firm, got there and I finished the first year and felt so unfulfilled, just like something was missing. And I just felt like I needed to be doing something where I could serve other people. And so that launched my career into social work. So from 1998 till 2014, I worked in the social work realm in crisis intervention, in-home counseling, working with at-risk youth, abused women. So that became my background and my platform that really got me to where I'm at now, which is a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. Woo!
Yes, girl. It's scary and it's wonderful.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say, that it's a beautiful journey, but the beauty of the journey is the thorns of the journey.
Wow.
It reminds me, this journey very much reminds me of like a rose. And so you have the thorns, and so you have this beautiful thing at the top, but then you've got these prickly things that cut you and make you bleed, and it hurts deep. And that's what being an entrepreneur feels like sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But it's really given me an opportunity to do what I love.
Yeah. Can I ask? So I'm gonna just go ahead and go deep. We only have a few minutes anyway.
Yes.
Might as well get started. We don't have about 20 minutes left. So what made you choose to, what was happening in your life that caused you to drop out of law school? And do you think, looking back on it, was it a positive? Was it what was it for you? What, now that you're looking back on it?
Yeah, looking back, so I went straight to law school after graduating from college, first and foremost. So I was 22.
Wow.
22 and didn't know nothing.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Thought I knew that I wanted to go to law school and be an attorney.
Right.
And if I'm honest, before I left for law school, I knew that I was not supposed to go.
Wow.
Then that there was something else calling me to serve others.
Wow.
And I went, I'll tell you why I went. I only went to please other people because I had told everybody that I was going to be an attorney. This is what I was going to do. I mean, it was written everywhere in yearbooks and stuff. And my parents were excited. I was the first one in my family to go to college. And so my thought was, how could I disappoint all these people?
Wow, Swan. Wow. Can I just say real quick, I have, no, let me ask first, if anybody in the chat can relate to doing something because it seemed expected of you, just literally doing it because that's what the next thing looked like, and the accolades that would come along with it, the expectations that, you know, this is the step up, this is the step over, all of those things. And I can so relate to that. What, looking back on it now, how do you see that time? How do you look where you are right now? Is it time that prepared you? Is it a regret? Like, very honestly, looking back on it, what is it for you now? Is it a regret that you didn't finish? Is it a regret that you even ventured to start it instead of doing something else that you really felt in your heart? How do you feel about it?
I have no regrets now, but I will tell you, throughout my 20s, I had tremendous regret, but not because I thought I had made the wrong decision, because I always felt like I had made the right decision, but it was because so many people around me were disappointed. So I grew up being a people pleaser. And so it was hard to handle the disappointment that I saw with other people. That was the hardest part. And so now in my 40s, I have no regrets. I think that the path that I have taken is the path I was supposed to take. I think it became the first step into my platform that I have now with my coaching about helping people to start over, because my life has been a series of starting over. And it has built such a resilience in me, and it has toughened my skin, because my God, I have ruffled a lot more feathers along the way in my life because I didn't do what other people thought I should do. And I was willing to walk away from the things that I no longer felt connected to and just start over, even if it meant losing everything I had. And that meant losing people's approval. That meant losing my own sense of shame and embarrassment because I hadn't achieved the things that I thought I should achieve, because I had this image, right?
Yep.
So it just, I have no regrets, because I think it completely got me to where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you got so many people in here, amen, and you, child. B said, wow. She said, yes. She said, you're speaking me. She said that's literally kind of what her story is. And Chantel said, hey, Chantel. Chantel said, absolutely. And Dr. Tina said she had to reset after a major shift. After being fired, she was broken. So they can really relate to kind of what we're sharing right now. And you have so many experiences. Some I know about, some I may not, but they have led to your platforms. And I see it as the foundation on which you're standing, but literally that foundation is built on your blood, your sweat, your tears, right? So we crumble, our broken pieces are part of what we're now able to stand on and say, I learned from all of this. And as a result, I'm able to share with you from this place, like this platform. This is out of my pain, like literally. My purpose is out of my pain. And so I wanted you to speak to some of the pains that you have experienced, and you can go wherever you want to go. But some of the pains you have experienced that have set you up. You've already talked about just the people pleasing and just having to pull away from the law school piece in order to really figure things out, and not now regretting that, but it being a really rough season for you in that time. And you've talked about loss, but whether it's as a single woman or whatever comes up for you when you talk about broken pieces and using that to help others now, what comes up for you? Am I messing with you?
But I think that one of the things that comes up definitely for me is something that I'm going to be talking about on a webinar in about
15 minutes. No. So since you mentioned it, before you say anything, y'all, at 8:30, you can hop off of this and hop on to some more goodiness and experience more of Swan. And so go ahead, tell them a little bit about it, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it brings to mind a bad breakup I had about 7 or 8 years ago now. Okay. And certainly, we've all been in relationships before and we've had breakups. I mean, my God, how many breakups will we have in a lifetime?
Right.
But this particular breakup broke me.
Hold on. All right.
You asked me to go deep, honey. We're going to do it.
Do it. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry. Say it again, but then keep going. I won't stop you this
time. That breakup broke me. In that relationship, I became a woman that I did not even recognize anymore. Like I felt like I was looking at myself outside of myself thinking, who is this? Who are you?
Wow.
And where did you come from? This is not who you are. But the reason why it broke me is because I realized that it was who I was.
You are messing with me. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
It revealed the depth of my life struggle with rejection. It surfaced the depth of my need to be in control of situations and people. It surfaced the depth that I would go to retain love.
Yeah.
So even if it wasn't perfect, and it was not perfect, it was perfectly flawed.
Mm.
You're talking about a relationship where infidelity was a regular.
Mm.
And so I made choices though. I stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I think it's a narrative as women sometimes that we have, that it's easy to keep pointing the finger at the man we was in the relationship with.
Right.
And it doesn't justify and make their behavior okay. But for me, it calls me to look at me and say, Sanithia, what's going on in you that you stayed?
Mm-hmm.
And so part of it for me was the deep roots of rejection, that constant fear of being rejected. I had already mentioned I was a people pleaser. And so, I also had an image to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So this relationship had to work out because people knew us, I couldn't look bad. I had to figure out how to make this thing work because my image was on the line.
Right. Right.
And when everything fell apart, literally, I had to make a decision whether I was going to stay and keep trying to put something together that couldn't be put back together, or if I was going to gather the little bit I had left, walk away.
Girl.
Starting over. I gathered the little bit I had and I walked away. And I fell into one of the deepest depressions of my life that I had ever experienced. And it was so scary, Nikki, because I could function in it.
Wow.
I got up and went to work every day. I still did ministry.
Yeah. Yes. We amening you. Everybody's like, yep, right, okay, image, yes, totally agree. We all with you. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm not going to interrupt you because you got a little bit of time. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. If you have questions,
I will. So okay, so since you gave me permission, let me just say, I don't even do this, but let me say right now, it is so powerful what you are saying for so many reasons, because what happened was you lost you for two sets of people. For the joker that you were with, you lost you. And then when you realized you needed to find you and shouldn't be with him anymore, you lost you all over again because you stayed longer than you should have, messing with him, messing with everybody else's perception of you having this perfect life or relationship or this image to uphold. And I think it's so important that we recognize we don't lose ourselves, not only in our relationships, our romantic relationships, but in our people pleasing. We can lose ourselves, and we call it, especially if you're a Christian, you call it a whole bunch of stuff, right? You call it, putting others before you, and just being sacrificial and all those things. But when you can't tell what you said, when you can't tell who you are anymore, then you might as well not be here, because you're not being you. Like who are you being if you're not being you? There's nobody else here that's supposed to do that. So I so appreciate your transparency and your sharing that. I'm wondering, because that has been a platform on which you're standing now to help people work through relationship pain and starting over, work through having to admit, I wasn't supposed to do this, so now I need to start over and do something else. At the place that you are right now, being a single entrepreneur, how do you function and handle life right now? Like, what does people pleasing look like in your life right now? What does relationship look like in your life right now? How are you, now that you are aware of so much, how do you function from day to day and week to week in your present?
Yeah, that's a good question, because when you were talking, what came to mind was identity, and how after that breakup, I didn't know who I was. Like, even right down to my purpose and who God had called me to be. I just wasn't sure anymore, because I was still trying to reconcile what happened in that relationship, who the heck that woman was. And so it was a struggle, Nikki, for years. It was a struggle. And I struggled as a woman of faith with God, hearing his call, but still just like, those two don't even go together.
Mm-hmm,
You know where I've been.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I didn't came out of. What? And so now the journey is being able on a day-to-day basis to just embrace who I am daily. Like it's not even something that I do from time to time. Like daily, I have to get up and remind myself of who God says I am.
Yeah.
And so like this morning, I love KCJ, the artist KCJ. And so I was listening to her song Journal. And so in this song, she just talks about God writing on her heart and reminding her of who she is. And that's a daily thing. Like daily, you have to get up because life will always tell you who you are not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially when you get a confidence and a clarity in who you are and what your purpose is, and you're moving in it, life will systematically set itself up to tell you that you are not that person and you should just throw in the towel. You should just forget it now. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is set up to tell you that. So it's an affirmation, it's daily affirmations, which I think we underestimate because people talk about affirmation so much.
Yeah, yeah.
What we say of ourselves is so powerful, and we will actualize what we say of ourselves.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you for a second? It's so important what you just said. I just want to add to it. So first of all, everybody should have a daily affirmation. Everybody should have, and honestly, it's to combat the negative self-talk that especially women tend to do. Yeah. We have as you said, it's easy. The world will tell you negative things. You will tell yourself, you ain't got to blame nothing on the devil. You'll tell yourself negative stuff, right? Yeah. And so it's so important to have an affirmation. And one of mine, I have a couple, but one of mine is I come from light. I am light. I won't dim my light. Because for so long I tried to be comfortable in crowds, and that's not who I am. And so it's very uncomfortable for me to stand out, as for whatever that means to anybody, it is. And so so I have to push myself to do it, because I know that's how I serve best. I serve best shining instead of dimming. So that's so important. But I also want to go back to something else that you said, because you said, God, the two don't even go together. You're calling me to serve you, to serve people, to act out ministry or service or whatever. And you see everything I've done. You see everything. So this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. So the problem is we think God expects perfection in order for us to be used, and he does not. And so he does not. And so, and I don't mean he wants just any old, who doesn't have a heart to want to be right and do right and all those kinds of things. But I think we try to wait and procrastinate until we get better, until we do better, while we're waiting, God is like, I'm waiting on you to do what I'm asking you to do. That's all I'm waiting on you to do. So a girlfriend of mine, and I want to put a plug in here, because at one of the intensives, the December 2016 intensive that we did for Real Women, Sherry Phaeton taught, and it was in May, but she taught about the fact that you can be this and that, meaning when you said, because it hit me hard when you said that I have to be comfortable with me. I have to get to know me. I have to know who I am. Well, that means I have to know the good and the bad, the plus and the minus. Like, I have to be okay with the fact that I'm loud. Like, I'm just a loud person. Now, I have to, once I acknowledge that, then I can fix it for the setting that I'm in. But if I act like, no, I'm Minnie Mouse, I am not Minnie Mouse when it comes to just Right. Whether I'm happy or whether I'm mad, I am a loud, boisterous person. So I need to know, and that's just one example of something I just need to know about myself. It isn't necessarily positive, but once I acknowledge it, I can process it. I can utilize it. So that was just so powerful, everything that you shared. Do you want to share anything? Because we have a couple of minutes. I want to make sure that people know, if they tune out to us right now and go to your Facebook page, what would be in store for them at 8:30 if they connected with you tonight in just a few minutes.
So yeah. So I'm really excited. So tonight it's actually my inaugural webinar. I have never done a webinar before, Nikki. I think I was sharing that with you. I'm really excited about it because it's birthed out of a new movement that I just launched called Dear Single Sister. And Dear Single Sister really came out of my own challenges and struggles as a single woman, and particularly as a single woman of faith, because I promise you, if I had to go to one more singles conference at church, I had to go to one more singles gathering where they tell me to keep my legs closed.
And from a married lady. And it'll be a married lady telling you too.
Because she gonna go home to a whole man in her bed. A whole one, not a half of one, a whole man she going home to.
Yeah, absolutely.
To just wait on the Lord. And don't hear me when I say that there's truth to that. Yes, we wait on the Lord. Yes, as believers, that part of God's expectation is that we will walk in holiness and that we would keep our temples. That's yes, I have no disagreement with that. Right. However, if that's all that you're talking to me about, you're not speaking to all of the aspects of who I am as a single woman. I knew a long time ago that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So can you speak to the businesswoman in me? Can you speak to the emotional health of this single woman? Can you speak to the mental health of someone who wrestled with depression heavily? Can you speak to that part of me? Like before we even get to the spouse he coming, can you get to those other pieces? Can you talk to me about my finances?
That's good, Swan.
Because I filed bankruptcy in my 20s.
That's good, Swan.
So can you speak to me about my fiscal health? Can you speak to me about my physical health? About just not trying to be a size 2, but just being healthy and being well. And
so look, can I just insert this? Instead of just telling me how to be holy, help me be healthy and holistic. Like, be practical with me. That's what I hear you saying.
And I think that's it. That who would be calling me on my home phone?
The fact that you have a landline is incredible.
I know, we could probably do a whole live about that. But anyway, so it was challenging to me. And so I was like, Lord, I'm tired of going into these spaces. And so I was whining and I was complaining to God. And he said, well, fix it.
Woo! Yes. I love it when that happens.
And I was like, oh yeah. He was like, yeah. And so if I'm honest, I dragged my feet on it for a couple of years. I kind of started playing around with the hashtag Dear Single Sister. And so then finally I said, you know what, God, I'm going to do it because I know it's needed. I know I'm not the only one. And so I am so excited. I just launched the website last week, which is www.dearsinglesister.org, not .com.org. And so there's also an online Facebook community called the Dear Single Sister Online Lounge. And tonight's webinar is about starting over after a breakup. And so I'm going to be sharing 6 steps to starting over after a breakup, because I think it's particularly crucial for us as single women during the holiday season can be very challenging. And so whether you've gone through a recent breakup or maybe it's been some years, I think a lot of times we don't invest the time that we need to invest to take care of ourselves on the other side of a breakup, especially when it's a bad one. So,
let me make sure I did it right, because I probably did something wrong. Hold on. Dear Single Sister. Somebody, y'all make sure it's right in there for me, please. Put it in there. And is it www? Do I have to do that?
I don't think you do, but
okay, I shouldn't have to. I tried. So y'all got it in there. Dearsinglesister.org, you said. I think I got it So at 8:30, literally in 15 minutes, everything you just said is so powerful because what you did was you saw a need, you felt a need, and you saw it as a need for other people, and it frustrated you. And can I tell you what that's called?
Yes.
It's called a holy discontent. Bill Hybels calls it a holy discontent.
Okay.
Where it's not just something that you see as wrong and you can just walk away from it, but because of your own personal investment in it, because it pains you to see it done the wrong way, because it pains you to see other people going through it, it's a heart burden for you. So I would challenge everybody listening to this to figure out what your holy discontent is, and read that book. There's a book entitled Holy Discontent by Bill Hybels. I think it's an awesome book. But I see that that's what you did. You turned your holy discontent into an actuality. And now there's a website and a webinar at 8:30, y'all. So I want you to tune in just a few minutes. All they have to do is go to, it's up there at dearsinglesister.org. It's on the website.
I'm about to post a link right here in the chat to make it even easier.
Awesome. So in the chat link, in the chat, she's going to put it, there we go. All you got to do is click on that when we're done, and you can go straight in there. We only have 3 minutes left, and all this means, Swan, is you got to come back. That's all this means. We only tip the surface of what we could talk about. And so what I want is for everybody to know and understand, we are here every Tuesday having real conversation. It's always going to be at least 2 sisters who are talking and sharing with each other. And what we want you to do is not only come and tune in to us on Tuesdays, but we want you to experience us live. And so if you are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, or Hampton Roads, Virginia area, we want you to come to our sister circles. Our sister circles happen every single month. You can go to realwomenrock.org. If somebody from Real Women can put that in the chat, realwomenrock.org, to find out more information about our sister circles. If we don't have a sister circle in your area, we're coming to your area. And in less than 2 weeks, not this weekend, but next weekend. Are you excited? We're going to have our intensive, and so it was going to be in September, but Hurricane Flo came and blew around a little bit and had a little bit of rain going on. And we just know it is just the way that things have flowed. It was supposed to happen November 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's allowing so many more people to attend. Would you please go to realwomenrock.org and check out our intensive information. It's at an Eventbrite site, but you can start right there at realwomenrock.org to get the information. And we would love to have you join us. There is still time. There are still just a couple of seats left. We're up in the numbers. Every time we hear something, we let the hotel know it's a couple more people coming. And so we want you to be one of those people. And I'm so glad, Swan, you're going to be there. You get to experience it.
I am so hyped. I cannot even tell you how hyped I am to be there. I'm looking forward to it. I have cleared my schedule. I was like, y'all, I don't have no time for y'all. I'm going to be over in Bob Beach.
Yes. And in Bob Beach, we have so much planned for you. 3 days of really digging deep. We call it Sister Circle on steroids. We are going to have some fun. We're going to dance and we're going to laugh, but we're also going to dig really deep, so that we're calling it a voyage to remember, so that you have the equipment, the tools, and the resources that you need for your life's voyage. And so we're excited about that. Yay. They say, please come back. That means you got to come back. All right, I'm gonna let you go because I want everybody that's listening, especially the women, to go. Thank you, Yana. Hey, girl, for putting the book in there. So we want you to go to that link that's in there. Please go to the link, and at 8:30 join us, because I'm tuning in. I'm not a single woman, but I'm gonna learn how to start over too, child. So, I'm looking forward to it. I love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.